Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Microsoft licensing training session. We're very glad that you could all join us today for yet another one of our training sessions. As you know, we will be hosting these training sessions on a regular basis. So please keep a lookout for any of the latest invitations that are coming out, as well as the recordings that will be shared after these trainings. If we go on to the next slide, I'm going to cover what we're going to be talking about today. So if you have a look on the right-hand side, first of all, I'd like to introduce the team. So I'm Nicole Oliveira. I'm the head of the Software Services Business Unit. And I'm joined today by Esther Macheko as well as Jacob Modisha, who are from our licensing advisory team. If we have a look at the agenda, we've done the welcome and the introduction. The purpose of this session really is to enable our customers and potential customers with the latest Microsoft licensing knowledge. So any of the latest changes that have come out, deep diving into certain products or contract types, really to enable you to make sure that you feel empowered when you talk to your Microsoft licensing landscape. I'm then going to be handing over to Jacob, who's going to be taking you through the core of this session, which really is around our Microsoft Campus Agreement. And this is really focused for our education customers, where we're going to be taking you through an overview of the agreement, the new AS audit framework, as well as some insights into what the Microsoft secondary review process is all about. We'll then be handing over to Esther, who's going to take you through the Microsoft Imagine Academy and some of the changes that have happened in this space. We'll then handle the Q&A. Please feel free to, as we're going through the presentation, put your questions into the chat box. We'll handle those questions in the Q&A session, but you're welcome to put them in throughout the session. And then right at the end, we'll do a closure. So with that, I'd like to hand over to Jacob, who's going to take you through the Microsoft Campus Agreement updates.
Yeah, thanks, Nicole, and good morning, colleagues. It's a great pleasure to be having you on the call today. As you can see from the agenda, so we are going to be chatting around the Microsoft Campus Agreement throughout the session and the Imagine Academy. So as the innovation that met us from Altron Karabina, we saw it important to have you all on the call just to share the updates and the changes that are around the Campus Agreement that is relevant to academic institutions. So what we're going to be talking about under the agreement update, so it's just around the Campus Agreement overview, just to remind you of what is the agreement and then who are the suitable custodians to enroll on the agreement. And then we are also going to be covering the SA audit framework. So there's a new framework that has been released by Microsoft. So we saw it very important to share it in a broader audience to everyone that is on the call, so that you are kept up to speed in terms of what are the changes from the old to the new framework. And we will also be covering the Microsoft Secondary Review, which is a process that Microsoft uses as a compliance risk in order to make sure that whatever order that a university institution plays with Microsoft, it is, it is following through the DEX processes that they put together on their end. So we'll be sharing the pains and the resolutions that many of you have gone through, and also giving you the tips and the information around what is required in order for the Microsoft Secondary Review Desk to approve your order. All right, so yeah, jumping straight to the Microsoft program update. So if you look at the Microsoft Campus Agreement, it is offered to give you a significant discount on your Microsoft products that you will be enrolling for student and for your faculty staff members for each universities who sign up for the agreement either for a year and for a 3-year. So you will notice that this agreement, it gives you two options, whether you can take it on an annual basis where you will be renewing your subscription licenses, or you can commit for a full 36 months in order to be not doing the procurement processes every year. Because if you choose the yearly sign up, it means you will be having to follow that procurement processes every year, which can cause so many things to you. but if it's beneficial, it's also available. And when we look at the 3-year contract, it gives you enough room to be dealing with the licenses and then also being, leveraging the added services that our partners put together for the universities that are signing up under this agreement. And also you will notice that this agreement is not only covering the universities. So Microsoft made it available also for your TVETs, so they've got their own framework that covers them. And then also we've got the provincial Department of Education that also qualifies to get the campus agreement for their schools. So in today's statistics, many of them have been migrated from the other programs that they were to the Microsoft campus agreement, because they do qualify to enroll that for their schools that falls under their districts. Okay, so one can ask about the benefits that comes with this agreement, because remember it's a subscription agreement that you will be subscribed on an annual basis. So if it's a yearly, you pay it yearly and renew. It's a 3-year, so you'll be also being paid the annual invoices that comes to you from your partner on an annual basis. So the benefits about this agreement is it offers an easy compliance, because if you look at the licenses and users that are going to be requiring, so they will be fully covered in that agreement and throughout the term. So everyone will be fully covered. And then also it gives the law administration, because everything will be managed from a central position. Your subscription licenses will be found on your 365 portal, where you'll be assigning and then managing those users, while other licenses like your on-prem for servers will be found on a VLC. So you don't find things falling on different places. They are centralized and then fall under your correct tenant and your details. And then also it offers the current technology, as when Microsoft released the visions and of those products in each feature. So your student or your users will be fully covered, because they will benefit from the latest visions that are released. And fourthly, it helps you with the budgeting and purchasing, because it makes it very simple. Because when you have a single agreement that caters for your organization, so in order to do budgeting and purchasing, because you will know that you are transacting from a single program, and also everyone is covered there. So it becomes easy also on an annual basis to issue the payment, your PO to the partner, and with your finance as well, because you will know that everything is covered under the same agreement. And then last but not least, it gives you the excellent value, because you will be standardizing across your organization in all platform products and benefiting from the latest technology. Okay. So as I explained that this agreement is not only covering the universities, but also the national departments and the TVETs. So when it comes to the SA audit framework, so it is specifically for the list of universities that you see on the screen, because it is mainly tailored out for them. So the 26 universities that we've got in the South Africa today, those are the ones that are covered under this framework. So I'm not going to go through the list. Should you see your name on the list, just note that you are qualified to migrate to the new framework, or you can benefit from the discounts that Microsoft put together on the new framework. Okay, cool. So as we will be talking about the SA audit framework, the new versus the old. So I'm just going to be comparing the two pictures that you see on the screen, the left one, which is the old, and the right, which is the new. So previously, Microsoft had the old agreement, and as things change or evolve, so they noticed that they've been not doing justice in terms of the price benefit for the organizations that they require, especially the M365 A5, because that's the most highest SKU that you can get in terms of licensing your users or your staff with your application and the access to your environment. So they did not include the A5 on the old framework, and it was only for A3 which they later then realized that many university institutions, they are enrolling on the A5 and then come up with a model that is going to also benefit them from the pricing perspective. So if you look at the old framework, so it was only covering 4 line items, which is your M365 for your users, and then also for your student. And then if you look at the bottom down the list, so they included the project and the VCO. But because of those 2 products on the old framework, they are not platform products, they are additional to the agreement. So Microsoft have get away with them on the new framework, and then they introduced the A5 SKUs that you can qualify for in order to benefit from the cost perspective. So if you are on the old framework and then your agreement is about to expire, so just know that automatically you will be renewing on the old framework, because if you look at the A3, it still offers the same percentage on the new framework. And should your organization want to upgrade to the A5, so automatically you are going to be qualifying for the discounts percentage that Microsoft put on the new framework that you see. Okay, so let's say you are a customer and then you are on a year 1, and then you're still on the old framework that you're looking to go to the new framework. So there are processes that as your partner will be going through with you and then helping you to migrate. So one thing that needs to happen is the old agreement will be required to be terminated and enter into a new agreement that will qualify you to the new framework. So because you can't have the mix of the 2. So your agreement will be required to be terminated, and then everything that is sitting on the old framework will be migrated to the new framework, and you qualify for the A5 SKUs. So this is only applicable if you are looking to migrate your A3 to A5 because of the price percentage discount that Microsoft put together there. So we will be assisting you in terms of sharing all the information and the processes that are available for you to migrate. So just remember, when you renew, so automatically you are going to be enrolling on the new framework. Okay. Is there anything that I've left out on this slide, Esther?
No, you have mentioned everything. The new framework came into place in December 2021. So all institutions that signed up for the Microsoft Campus Agreement before December 2021 would be on the old framework. And if you are interested in moving from the old framework to the new framework, as Jacob has alluded, that you get better discount on the A5, then you need to reach out to us as your LSP partner to assist you with that, moving from the old framework to the new framework. For institutions that are already on year 3 or year 2 of the agreement and want to continue with the old framework, they will then be automatically be renewed on the new framework when renewal time comes. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and again, just to emphasize, so this is only for the 26 universities that you saw on the previous slide. So the Department of Education of the province or nationally, so for the schools, so you don't fall under this framework. It's only for universities. Okay?
There is a framework in place for FETs, and we will share as we continue with these sessions on the discounts that are applicable for FETs who are not part of this audit framework.
Thank you. All right, so yeah, so on my slide here, I'm going to be covering the secondary review processes, and I mean, many of you that have dealt with Microsoft in putting together the agreements, you will notice that it becomes a very, very challenging process. We just saw it important to incorporate it in this session so that we can inform you upfront of the information that is very, very required, because this is something that you are going to be following on an annual basis. So it does not end as when you sign the renewal or as when you enter into an agreement. So as when the agreement progresses annually, so you will be going through this process just to make sure that the secondary review process is also managed from the Microsoft side. So what are we going to be covering in this coming slide? So we are going to be talking about the secondary review desk overview and the procurement processes that they follow. And we'll be showing you the customer purchase commitment requirements, the type of PO that is acceptable and the type of PO that is not acceptable, and also sharing information about the discount through and the discount transparency. Okay, so when we look at the secondary review desk, it's a compliance analytic program that Microsoft have put together just to make sure that whatever order that the universities, institutions, submit through their partners, it is, following the right channel in terms of your advanced statistics, your machine learning, and artificial intelligence that they put together. So the bottom line is just to make sure that the compliance risk is very followed because it is managed by Microsoft itself. So if there are any errors that might have come between maybe your partner and the customer, so the compliance risk is able to pick that through and then made it known so that it can be corrected. So this is a process that usually require an additional information that it can be requested from the partner side together with the end customer side. So what type of the procurement process that of the information that they usually ask? So if we look at from the customer request usually, so when you issue out the request for pricing, it can be your RFP, RFQ, or your bill of material. So that information, it is going to be required from Microsoft. It can be like when you request via email or via your publishing them outside for people to access the information. So it is going to be required by Microsoft. And then also what they are emphasizing is for those information to be, especially around your requirements, they need to be clearly stated, because whatever that we are going to be submitting as your partner to you and to Microsoft, it must match what we have issued out to Microsoft LSPs or partners that deals with your campus agreement. So if we look at the list of products, so they need those list of products to be clearly stated together with their quantities, because the quotation, it has to come in that format and follow the RFX information that you have shared outside. Okay, so we know that some of you usually go out on tenders and then you get rewards at the end of the adjudication process. So what information is required? So they need the communication that you are taking it out. It can be on a website that you have shared the information, or via email. So because we know that there are only a few authorized LSPs that deals with some of the agreements, including the campus. So that communication that you are sending out, so they will need it to be sent through to them. And also, if you are doing terms of reference, they will need that information. And also on the tender side, so the tender processes, including your timelines, the invites, and the submission date. So that information is very vital to Microsoft. And should there be any changes, because usually when you give extensions to tenders, so you communicate either via email or on your portal. So that kind of information is also required in order to support the secondary review process compliance risk. And also, lastly, is the award that you will be selecting the winning bid. So whoever that is going to be winning from the tender that you publish, so that communication that you award is going to be required. And then lastly, I mean, you will notice that most of the processes, in order for them to be fully supported, they will ask you to accept the quotation and then sign it. So when you submit the purchase order, you will also be required to be signing the quotation. So it falls under this procurement process, because whoever is authorized to sign the purchase order will be required to sign the quotation as well and submit it together to Microsoft. So these are the information that we are sharing with you today, so that you can be aware and then alleviate the stress that is going to be coming on an annual basis. Okay. So on my next slide here, I'm going to be sharing the information about the type of acceptable purchase commitment and the type of not acceptable one. So if you look at the screen on your left side, so there is letter A to H stipulating the type of information that is needed to be visible on your purchase order in order for Microsoft to accept your order through the partner. So if we look at the letter A, So they need the name and contact details of their partner, so meaning that you need to put them there. And then if we look at letter B, so they're requiring the name and contact details of the end user customer. So whatever name that you are registered to Microsoft to, so it has to match that, and your addresses as well. And then letter C is around the purchase order number. So they need that purchase order number so that it can link with the supporting document that we submit. And then letter E, they need the product SKU and quantity. So we know that many organizations, they've got systems that allows them to just put, like if it's for Microsoft renewal, they will put Microsoft license in renewal, and then they put a quantity of one. So unfortunately, that kind of information on the purchase order is not going to be accepted. So they will need the product by SKU and quantities to be listed as per the quotation that we submitted back to you when we respond to the request. So even if you've got 100 line items, unfortunately, you will need to list those products together with their quantity so that they can be clearly visible to Microsoft when they process it, because that Microsoft licensing renewal with a quantity of one is not going to be accepted. Okay. And then letter E is just around the price products. So whatever price products that you will be putting from the quotation, it has to be matching with your purchase order. And letter F, it also goes to the totals that you are going to be combining the SKUs. And letter G is around the signature and the stamp. So I mentioned that the signature is also going to be required on the purchase order, together with the quotation that we'll be accepting. And lastly, it's around the date. So the date needs to be visible on the purchase order that is acceptable. So the information below the picture is just around what I've explained in the letter, so you can go through them when we send you back this presentation. So if you look at on the right side, the not acceptable one. So it's any editable document that that maybe you might be sending in a form of purchase order, so they are not going to be accepting that, and then a verbal or handwriting purchase order. So unfortunately, they are not going to be accepted. So they need to be captured from your system that are be generating purchase order in order for the purchase order to go through. So anything that is handwriting or verbal, so it's not going to be supported in the secondary domain. Okay. So yeah, on my last portion, so it's just around the discount that Microsoft are putting for the certain SKUs that we showed you on the frameworks. So what are they saying even on the additional SKUs that might come along the journey of your agreement is on this discount information is around informing customers that the promotionals and the negotiations of price, they are made by Microsoft itself as the OEM, and it can be for the current or for the future. So those are the decisions that Microsoft take on their side, and then they communicate them through to the partners that represent them on the market. And then at the end of the day, those partners, they need to make sure that they are passing through those discounts to you, so that you can have an idea of how on a certain SKUs you are going to be benefiting from the price discount that Microsoft have passed through. So on a time to time, so Microsoft, they do different promotions, they do different pricing adjustments. So it is our duty as partner to make sure that you are well informed and that understand on how you are going to be charged for a certain product. So this information is just to confirm that we cannot sell above the pricing that they have put together. So that's why the secondary review compliance risk is there, just to make sure that whatever that we are quoting you, it's in line with their promotions and discounts that they put together. So at the time to time, so when we go through those processes, it's just to make sure that they eliminate the unfairness that most of customers have experienced previously when coming to their discounts that they put together. So this information is just to, in summary, is just to communicate to that, and then make sure that you are benefiting from a feature perspective and making sure that you enable your user to use the latest technology. So I'm going to be handing over to Esther now just to take through the Imagine Academy. And yeah, Esther, over to you.
Good morning, colleagues. We're going to go through the Imagine Academy. In the past, this program used to be available for purchase. However, in 2020-2021, Microsoft has started offering this program for free for any institution that has a campus agreement in place. So the Imagine Academy is a program that provides technology courses for institutions, and it also gives teaching resources to the educators, and it also includes related benefits aligned with the in-demand workforce and career skills in the industry. This program has been in place for over 20 years now. So all institutions that have an academic agreement in place, they do have the Imagine Academy available for free to use. In September 30th, 2022, Microsoft made an announcement that they will be retiring this Microsoft Imagine Academy, and they will be transitioning it through the Microsoft Learn platform. So with that said, all institutions that have an Imagine Academy subscription in place, they would have received from the 1st of November this year, 30 examination vouchers that they can use for their education, professional development, and also use for their students. So all institutions that have an active Imagine Academy subscription in place, we do encourage them to go to their subscription portal and download those certificates that are now available. And they can start downloading that from now if you haven't downloaded, and you have until the 30th of December 2022 to be able to download those certificates, vouchers, and be able to share with your resources within your educator community. So I have mentioned that Microsoft is retiring the Imagine Academy. With that retirement, they have transitioned everything that is on Imagine Academy to what we now call a Microsoft Learn platform. So the Academy, Imagine Academy, is still available in place, but as of the 30th of December 2022, it will no longer be available. So we encourage all institutions that are currently on the Imagine Academy to start transitioning and activating your subscriptions under the Microsoft Learn. On the Microsoft Learn, there are two locations where institutions can be able to access the resources that they were able to access via the Imagine Academy. And they can also access what we call a MOOC, Microsoft Official Curriculum, and also be able to access the certification preparation material. All of this used to be available or are still available through the Imagine Academy, but now they have been transitioned over to what we call the Microsoft Learn. As I've mentioned, there are two locations. The first location where you can get this, it is through what we call the Microsoft Learn Educator Center. This is where Microsoft has centralized all the training and professional development resources for your K-12 institutions, where educators and school leaders can go and access free learning and skills resources that they can use to develop the students that they are teaching. The second place where you can find this, it is through what we call a Microsoft Learn for Educators. This is a program that enables you as an institution to bring or use the official curriculum that Microsoft has in place, and you can also use the instructor-led training in your classes as an institution. So all eligible educators and faculty members in colleges, in universities, in your community colleges, even in your elementary schools, you are able to go and get a ready-to-teach curriculum that will assist you to teach technology to your students. These certifications that are also available through the Microsoft Learn, they are there to assist students to enhance their degree path and be able to get skills that will help them later in their technical careers. So Microsoft has put together all these resources through the Microsoft Learn, which previously used to be available through the Imagine Academy, in order for institutions to be able to go and get content that is ready for the students and also ready for the educators. This is to help you free your time and be able to focus on what you do best as an institution, which is to teach, than having to worry about putting together the courseware to use to enhance and to enable your employees and also your students. So what are the next steps, seeing that we have mentioned that Microsoft is retiring the Imagine Academy? The next steps that you need to take is to go from now, if you haven't, you need to go and download and utilize your certification exams that are available through your subscription that you have active on your Imagine Academy. That is the first thing that you need to do if you haven't done that. As I've mentioned, these certification vouchers have been available since the 1st of November, and they will be available until the 30th of December this year. So you still have about 5 weeks to go and download those vouchers and share them with your educators to be able to go and write those exams. The second thing that you need to do is, if you haven't done that yet, is to go and activate your subscription under the Microsoft Learn for Educators. You need to also go and explore the Microsoft fundamentals, which are available through the Microsoft Learn. And the fourth thing that you need to do, it is to go and activate and explore your subscription through the Microsoft Learn Educator Center. Remember, I told you that there are 2 ways where you can get access to your Microsoft Learn program, which is your Learn for Educators, Learn Educator Center. Then the fifth thing that you need to do, it is to attend. So register and attend the Microsoft Imagine Academy question and answer sessions that Microsoft has got in place during the month of December. After this session, we will be sharing this presentation, and when we share that, the presentation will also include the dates that Microsoft has got for this question and answer session, and will also include the links where you can go and activate your subscription for Learn under the Microsoft Learn for Educators and also Microsoft Learn Educator Center. So we'll share those links for you to be able to go and register.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Esther. So I'm glad we have managed to cover this under so enough time. So yeah, I think, Nicole, I'm gonna hand over back to you just to help us facilitate the question and answers.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks so much, Jacob and Esther. That was very informative. We have got a couple of questions, so I'm going to call them out, and please, whoever's appropriate to answer the questions, please answer the questions. We've got some questions related to the framework. The first one is, when you are renewing your agreement in 2023, do you need to specify that you want the new framework?
Yeah, no problem. I'll take that one. So since the start of the new framework, so there is no need for customers to specify. So automatically you will be enrolled in the new framework. So because the old framework is slowly fading away, so it's just only for the customers that are still on there. So when you renew, automatically you'll be qualifying for the new framework.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jacob. The next question is for Esther. We noted that on the new and the old framework that there are 2 different SKUs for the A3 and the A5. One that says original and the other one that says unified. That being the only difference between those 2 SKUs that we can see. Can you explain to us what the difference is between an original SKU and a unified SKU?
Thank you, Nicole. So when you buy your Microsoft 365 product, you will note that that is a bundle of 3 products, which is your EMS, your Office 365, and your Windows operating system. When you buy under a unified SKU, those 3 products that make the M365 bundle, when they are added to your Microsoft 365 portal, they will be added as one SKU, which will be Microsoft 365, either A3 or A5. That is if you are buying the unified SKU. If you buy the original SKU, those 3 products that make the Microsoft 365 SKU or bundle, when they are added to your Microsoft 365 portal, they will be unbundled. So you will have 3 line items. So for institutions, when it comes to assigning the licenses, if it's not an overhead of administration, then the original SKU can be used, because then you'll have the 3 products unbundled. If management of assigning the licenses is a problem for an institution, then we advise that you buy the unified SKU, which will then have one SKU that is added to your portal and you can assign to your EQU or your students. The other thing that you need to also remember is that there is a price difference between the original SKU and the unified SKU. So when institutions are about to go out on tender or they are about to finalize their bill of material, we advise that you have a chat with your partner who will then assist you in terms of which of the 2 SKUs you need to choose. The products that you're getting from the original or the unified is exactly the same. It all depends on how the product will be added by Microsoft to your portal once you have processed the order with your partner. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Esther. Jacob, the next question is for you and it relates to the secondary review process. Why is Microsoft asking the customer to confirm information that the partner already has during the secondary review process?
Yes, so I mean, colleagues, you will notice that we chatted about the compliance risk a lot on the secondary review. So Microsoft, they do not take any, it can be an email or a letter written by the partner. They will not accept that because they need every information to be confirmed and signed by the customer, just to make sure that there is a good governance that is followed. So what we usually advise our customers is we work together with them just to put the content and then also provide them with the information that they may require. So it can be like your enrollment details, where they will need the enrollment number together with your start and end date. So, or maybe it can be in terms of the pricing of the SKU, some SKUs, because you notice that with the academic institutions, there are SKUs that are offered on a 0 cost. So those SKUs are very important to be added on your purchase order, because if you're not adding them on a purchase order, Microsoft will require you to confirm that information that you have. You are also accepting that SKU. However, your system is not allowing you to put it because it's on a 0 cost. So we know that that SKU will be available on our code. Yes, but it's not enough to support the secondary review compliance risk. So that's why that kind of information is required to be returned from the customer end.
Awesome. Thank you, Jacob. Okay, we have one last question, and this one is for Esther, and it actually relates quite closely to what Jacob was just talking about with the $0 SKUs on the purchase order. Can you explain to us what the student benefit ratio versus FET is all about?
So as Jacob has mentioned, with the campus agreement, there are some SKUs that are available at the 0 value. So as part of that, Microsoft has got a ratio which is a 1 to 40. So for every qualified education user that you have, a full-time employee as an institution or a contractor, so for every contractor or full-time employee that you have that is assigned a license as an institution, for every one of them, you get 40 licenses for free that can be used for a student. So 1:40 student benefit. When an institution puts together a bill of material, we do advise that you make sure that you count enough paid for licenses for your EQU that will qualify the right number of students that you have as an institution in order for you to be able to get those free licenses. 1:40 is the ratio that is used.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jacob and Esther. That concludes all of the questions that we have received today. So thank you so much for answering all of those questions. I just want to thank everybody for their time today and for attending the session. I hope that you all found it very valuable. We will be sending out the recording of the session, so you're welcome to take a look at it again. Or if you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to us directly and we can talk you through any of the areas that you need more information on. Please also note that we will be running more of these sessions in the coming calendar year. Pretty much once per quarter, we will be hosting a session based on different topics. So please keep a lookout for the email invitations or also to our social media platforms such as LinkedIn to see for our latest training invitations. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.